as you link it, with apologies to the bard. All of Facebook is a stage, and the men and women simply bloggers. They have their status updates and their comments. One Facebooker on his computer may have many websites, his blogging showing 7 stages of growth. At first, the amateur writer, writing beginner's puke for the public's eyes, and then the whining commentator, with his links and shiny new template creeping into literary devices unwillingly. And then the number of views becoming astronomical, sighing like celebrity with a tedious job made to cater to his readers, then a militant, full of angry rantings like some bearded hippie, selfishly watching his comments rapid and fast to debate, looking for more and more clicks to his site, even though his comments be reported, and even when making money from numerous advertising links, and having a stern-looking Facebook portrait, showing sage comments and verified links. And now he must continue his website. The 6th writing style changes into the cautious and timid bard, with the careful comments and pleas for tolerance. His first blogs well documented, a cyber world too large for his senile brain and his popular sounding blog, turning again towards his earlier musings, other blogs and websites in his memories. Last entry of all that ends this weird and wonderful website is drivel written from dementia, without satire, without perspective, without experience, without anything. This was written by the Dust Bunny, read by Betty Adams in tribute on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Because yes, indeed, all the world is a stage. So today, I want to give you, my wonderful viewers, a little bit of backstory into how I got the way I am. I actually come from a somewhat literary family. Both my mom and my dad were journalists at some points in their varied careers. My mom did basic, kind of slice of life commentary on the computer for a newspaper that no longer exists, and my dad did, hard-hitting community journalism. He did stories about the guy who kept the lion down in his private property. That was 40 years before Tiger King became popular. So both of them were ahead of the curve, shall we say. But one of the things that the editor of The Sun appreciated Mom's contributions for were the rather short and pithy humor columns that she did. What you just heard was a poem written after the style of the bard, done right after Facebook was really becoming popular, when it was something new and the patterns and behaviors were just tending to emerge. So I kind of grew up in this atmosphere of, if you want something written, you might have to write it yourself. And I can't remember if it was my mom or my dad. It was probably my mom, because we were more likely to have that sort of conversation where I'd be whining about I couldn't find the book that I wanted, and she's like, well, why don't you write one herself? And she helped me write and bind my very first book. She still has it on the china hutch in her cupboard. I can't remember. There was a lion involved in it. At least one human and one lion. I don't remember the plot. That was, oh my goodness, 1992, I think? 91 or 92? I think it was 92. I wrote that. But anyway, it was a while ago. So, here's to Mom, who not only taught me how to read and write, but inspired me a love of literature and a love of creating literature, and put up with listening to and editing my creations as I was developing. She's also the one who taught me that you're not a real author until you've got hate mail, and she shared some of her hate mail with me. It was actual, literal, physical mail. So somebody, on reading one of her articles in the local newspaper, was so incensed by her. Well, they didn't exactly leave specific feedback. They just wrote her a note. They paid for an envelope and postage and sent it to her P.O. box through the mail, and all it said was, try Highlights. Now, for those of you who don't know, Highlights is a children's magazine, and so we assumed that it was a critique that her writing style was too childish, but she was the kind of humor comedian for the paper, so everybody had our own taste. But she shared that with me, and she made a fun little lesson of it. Look, people are going to react negatively to you. Sometimes they'll have legitimate criticisms, most of the times they won't, but that's just part of life. You deal with it, you move on, you keep doing what you love. She got some more specific insults, but she also was the one who taught me how to take everyday conditions and just find the absurdity in them. She wrote an article where there was a person and an animal who both had similar back conditions, and she wrote an article that could have been read, "Oh dear, this poor animal can't be walked outside," or "Oh dear, this poor person is having trouble with mobility." And it was funny and amusing and a little bit absurd, and she actually got called to the carpet for that one. They got a very, very specific letter of complaint from the person she wrote the articles about. Daughter, not the person themselves. I think they thought it was hysterical. But anyway, so here's to Mom, who taught me how to read, who taught me how to write, who inspired in me a love of writing, and who taught me how to deal with all of the haters and all of the legitimate criticism that comes your way, and how to look at something from other people's perspective, even if you think that their response is utterly absurd, to look at them and try to look at it from their perspective. So, what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Here is a poem, as you link it, written back in the dawn of the Facebook era. Written by Dust Bunny. Alright, hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out, and have a wonderful Mother's Day. Humans are weird. We took a vote, and humans are weird. I have the data. 2 books in a series of human absurdity. Go check out these short story collections. What will our little green friends think of us when we finally do make it to space? Find out the answer in 2 books of human absurdity. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Play.